My name is Jarquis Jones, and I go to school at the Jarquis Holland. And I'm in 5th grade.
So what kinds of things have you done for science in the past?
Like, what kind of science fair projects did I do? Well, I did one with water and a potato, how you put water into a potato and see how it grow. And I'm not sure about my other projects. That's the one that comes to mind. Other than that, I don't remember.
And what did you do this year?
This year, I did a marble machine.
What's that?
A marble machine is where you take slopes, stoppers, what else? A cricket, Legos, and put it on a board and let the marble drop down, and it goes through all kinds of slopes and loops and holes and whatever else you add onto the board. So that's what you call a marble machine. It's almost like a gumball machine or a racetrack machine.
Can you think back to maybe the first time you looked at the stuff and what you thought about it?
Well, when I looked at it, it seemed pretty easy to me. Like, I just put this stuff on the board and write about it, and I have my science project, but it wasn't that easy. It may seem like a little, but it really wasn't that easy.
So the very first time that you looked at the marble machine materials, you knew that you wanted to do a science project with it?
Yes, I did. That would be interesting and different from the other kids, like from the solar system and about the body. It was kind of strange, but it was fun.
So kind of take me through the top of the machine, pretending all the parts were there, and how does it work?
Okay, well, from the top, the basket, there's a button on the side here where you press it down, and the basket turns around and it goes down the slope here, goes into a conveyor belt goes around down these few slopes, and here was a little birdie, and it knocked the birdie down, went down and into the cup here.
Can you kind of show me on your board maybe a favorite part?
Well, my favorite part in this boat was the conveyor belt.
What did you have to do to get the conveyor belt to work?
Well, first I attached the cricket, and then I had to program the language of the cricket into the computer until I got the right amount where it stopped. Well, actually it didn't stop, where it dropped the marble and stopped back into its place where I wanted to stop at.
Is there a part that you think of as being most difficult to do?
Well, the part I thought was most difficult to do was my basket. It seemed very easy. It was easy to build, but it was kind of the same thing as the conveyor belt, but sometimes the basket, when you program it, you press the button that's on the side, and that wouldn't move, but the conveyor belt would move. Like, that was sending language, but that just didn't want to move, and the conveyor belt did. And the basket wouldn't move, and sometimes it would, sometimes it would go over. And it was like the conveyor belt always did what it was supposed to do, except the day of my science project, it just kept going and going and going. Like, it was really excited as I was.
What are those two pieces of paper with words?
This is the computer language here. This is what I had to program in for these two to work the way I wanted it to work.
That looks really confusing. Do you know what any of those words mean?
Well, yeah, I do. It says loop, wait until, which means wait until it gets the message when it's supposed to go. And then it says on for 17, and then it ends and then it stops.
Okay. What about the pictures? Can you tell me what's happening in the
Well, these pictures are put in order from first to last. This is at the very top. That's when I first started to build, not to build, but to think about it, talk about it, and discuss it. And then I started cutting this side right here. It's a rough draft of what I did. It was a rough draft, and then I took all the pieces off. And that's in the other picture next to it when we started cutting the pieces for it. And then right here is where I'm testing it out to show a couple people. And I'm trying to explain, like I did over here, how it works.
If you had to do it all over again, what kind of things might you try next time?
Well, this was this book I was reading, and if I ever did it again, I wanted to make little sounds, like little bell sounds with little things hanging out the side. And maybe some loops and some little parts that move around like that. Maybe something like that. Something more exciting, more colorful.
Did anybody ask you what this has to do with science?
Yes. A couple of my teachers asked me, well, how does this relate to science and all that stuff, and I said, well, it's not particularly a science project, but it was for science fair, but it wasn't exactly a science fair project, it was a project, and I had my stuff down for it, and it wasn't exactly a science fair project. It had a little bit of science and a little bit of math and a little bit of, it had a little bit of everything mixed up in it. So it was like a mixture project.
You see this? This is Jarquis'. She's a scientist. She knows how to make. Oops. This is Jarquis'. She's a scientist. I hope it doesn't fall. Uh-oh. We gotta cut this. Sorry, folks. Bye-bye. Okay. Action. This is Jarquis'. She's a scientist, and we're on live TV, television, and this is Jarquis', and watch this thing go. It's gonna go down here, hit that, and stop. This is Jarquis', and it's gonna go. Now, this is Jarquis', and she's a scientist. It's gonna go up there, and it's not gonna stop this time. See, it fell off.
That's right.
This is Jarquis', and I'm very, very nervous, and this is Jarquis', and it's gonna go down there, it's gonna go down there, and it's gonna go off there and go down. She's a scientist. She knows how to do anything in the world, you name it, she'll do it. Now you see that? That was wonderful, wasn't it? Wonderful, wonderful cut.